Good morning, everybody. And we're going to be doing this daily briefing on the COVID-19 a little bit differently. So I'm not going to get into all the statistics like I usually do because we got some exciting news going on here in the capital region, which is awesome. And I know everyone who's been home and living with this that hasn't been out in the real world in a while, and we have to reimagine things. So the announcement today is going to be a reimagine of what's going to happen here in the future at the TU. So very exciting stuff going on. But as of today, there's 2,392 positive cases of the coronavirus in Albany County. 425 people are in a mandatory quarantine, and we have an increase, say, of 13. Like I said, it's been like a roller coaster. Yesterday, 21. The day before that was down a little bit, back up. So we keep going up and down. Among the positives, 7 are healthcare workers. 3 had close contact to a positive case. 1 had reported traveling, and the other ones are we're still tracking and mapping to see where they got infected. Also, as of today, we have 8,316 people have completed quarantine, 2,356 tested positive for the virus, and out of that, 15 more recoveries, which is also good news. There are now 6 people in the hospital with a hospitalization rate of 0.25%, same as yesterday. So we're staying steady in the same amount of people in the hospital, and the same with the ICU, 1 person being still in the ICU. Our 5-day average is 10.6 new positive cases, and the 5-day average before that was 8.8. I'm still saying what the governor says every day. Please go and get tested, whether you have signs or symptoms. Again, UAlbany's free, our mobile testing and Rite Aid, and I always put the numbers out there, but as always, you can call for the University of Albany is 1-888-364-3065. And our mobile testing site number is always 518-465-4771. Rite Aid is online in Colony, and then our Priority 1 that we always use. So please go to Priority 1 in Gilliland if you want to get the antibody testing. And I just want to put one more number out there too for our people dealing with mental health challenges with everything going on. This is 5 months since our first case here in Albany County, 6 months that we've been dealing with this, and a little bit longer if you're following this on the national news. So people that are having a hard time struggling, please call our mental health. It's available 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's free, and please call the number 518-269-6634. You know, I know the virus has changed the way we look at things, the way people are going to come out. And, I know fans for this are ready for this. They're ready to come out. People want to engage socially. We're a nation based on people being together, and trust me, I do have some friends that love this. People staying away 6 feet, wearing masks, and not being able to touch each other. I hear you. You can keep practicing that when this is over with. But, we're a nation in this great country, and we have 330 million Americans in this country that like to gather for social stuff like this and love the announcement that Bob Belver is going to make. But it was almost a year ago we were here with the exciting fans for Arena Bowl 32 capturing the championship. 20 years after the Albany Firebirds have won in 1999. So it's really exciting news. My hat's off to Bob Belver and his team, as always, for making this work out, and people believing in our market, because we do have the fan base. We have people here that want this, can't wait for this. So before I think everyone knows it's the worst kept secret, I think, in the world, but I will let Bob Belver come up and talk about it and introduce you to the new owners. So thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much. So it's a great day for Albany. It's like the sun coming out of the clouds. It's some good news with a new team coming into Albany, playing a sport that our fans have been so in love with for so many years. Just this past year in 2019, the average attendance at regular season games and playoff games was over 10,000 people per game. And the Arena Bowl championship, which our Albany team, Albany Empire, won, was over 12,000 people in the stands. So when you lose something like that, you can take a position of, we lost it, that's too bad, or we can take a position of let's get it back. So that's what we did. We went out, we tried to find someone that would come back and bring this sport back and bring the best team possible back. And I'm going to get to this in a minute. I want to first personally thank Ron Tradico, who's sitting in Orlando right now and is going to be introduced shortly, along with some other folks that will be on the Zoom call. But Ron is taking a real shot here. He owns the Orlando Predators, and it's really a lot of conversations between him and I and some others as well, but certainly want to thank him. The process of getting the team, obviously, and you should be aware of this, there's really two leagues that are the dominant leagues in the United States right now. And the NAL is certainly one of the dominant leagues. IFL is another one. The AFL, when it went bankrupt in October, most of those players now are playing in the NAL, or some are playing in the IFL. But the NAL right now is a dominant force. You know, they just announced that Louisville and Tampa and Baltimore, and you'll hear the list as the folks from Orlando explain more. But the league is growing, and we're very fortunate to be able to host a team here in Albany with this league. The impact on the arena is fantastic. Obviously, the impact on downtown businesses, bars, restaurants, retail, all thrive when we have arena football. The block parties are going to continue. Again, this will all be information that you'll hear from the owners. So before we go any further, let me introduce a video that the NAL has provided to us, and we'll take a minute to watch that before we introduce the owners. Thank you. Great video. So before we get going here, and before I actually introduce the folks from Orlando, I just want to let you know there's about a second or two delay. So once we get into the question and answer period, if the folks from the media could just understand that there's going to be a little bit of a delay before that response comes back, so to please not ask another question right on top. So let's get into it. Joining us via Zoom from Florida is Chris Siegfried, I beg your pardon, Commissioner of the NAL, and team owners Ron Tradico and Nate Starling. And it's my pleasure at this time to introduce Chris Siegfried.
Hey, thanks, Bob. Thanks for the nice, warm welcome. Hope everybody got to see that great video that was produced for you guys, especially for you guys. Very happy to be here today and to announce the Albany football team up in Albany, New York, the latest member of the National League. For those that are not familiar with our league, we have some historic teams in our league, not to mention, some teams that have been in other leagues. We're growing rapidly. We're very thankful for Ron and Nate to take on this venture and bring Albany back. I've got a long history in the Arena Football League, both as not so much as a player, but more so as a coach. So I love the sport. It's a great sport, and we're happy to provide the people of the capital city up in New York the opportunity to see more arena football and go against the likes of the Orlando Predators, Jacksonville Sharks, Carolina Cobras, teams in Baltimore, Louisville, and whatnot. So we've got a great footprint on the East Coast. I would also like to introduce Ron Tradico and Nate Starling to my left, to the video's right. These are the guys that made it possible. Without them, I don't know that we would have Albany playing arena football anymore. So I want to thank Ron and Nate. I also want to thank Bob up at the Albany Times Center and all the people in Albany for allowing us the opportunity to bring arena football back to the capital city. We're very excited. I guess without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce Ron Tradico. Ron has been very integral in this process and communicating with Bob and all the folks up in Albany. So Ron, take it away.
I'm just happy to bring a team back to Albany for the fans. Nate's helped me out. They're getting involved with the Predators, so we're really looking forward to bringing a team to Albany.
And to Ron's left is Nate Starling, Ron's partner with the Predators, and also Ron's partner with the Albany football team. Nate?
Well, what I have to say is I'm delighted to be, I'm originally from upstate New York, so I am delighted to be able to bring back arena football back to my home state. So I really look forward to this adventure. Give the fans what they need and desire up there. And like I said, I'm blessed to be able to bring it back up to New York State. So I appreciate the opportunity for this very much.
And Bob, before we take any questions, I'd also like to recognize a gentleman to my right. He's one of our executive directors, Rob Storm. He's also a principal owner for the Carolina Cobras. He's been very integral behind the scenes. He's the chairman of our finance committee as well. So I'd like to at least recognize Rob for coming down from Ponte Vedra Beach and being a part of this this great announcement for our league. So Bob, you guys have any questions for us down up there in New York?
So we'll open it up for questions. I've got Gary Holly with a microphone here. Since this is being streamed live, we'd like to have the questions actually be said over the microphone so the folks on the stream, accepting the stream, can hear it. So if there's any questions, if you could raise your hand and Gary will bring the mic over to you.
Hi, it's Pete Doherty from the Times Union here in Albany. Ron, what's the status as far as a nickname, and how soon can we expect a determination on that?
We have not selected a team name yet. We're still working on intellectual property for one. Right now, we are leaning towards the Firebirds, but we hope to acquire the Empire rights. That's where we're currently at.
So to expound on that a little bit, we rights to the original team name Albany Firebirds for a number of years, but Ron and Nate are in negotiations to acquire the Empire rights as well. It'd be nice to have both options and see what the fans would like to see, and either way, we're excited about the brand of arena football coming back to Albany, New York.
Any other questions?
For anyone who would like to answer, I guess this is Ashley from News Channel 13. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I know the plan is probably to play in 2021, but how does a decision like this affect, I guess, the start time of the next season? Do you plan to play next season, and when can you make a decision on that?
That's a great question in terms of the pandemic and the effect of football, in particular arena football. We have every intention of playing in 2021. That's the plan. Our start date is usually going to be the first week of April, possibly as early as the last week in March. We're still working out the scheduling. We're still getting dates from the various venues. But we'll play our schedule starting in most likely first week in April 2021, run through most of July, and then playoffs in August. As far as reaction to the pandemic, we have a number of different safety protocols that we've been talking with different venues about, and we're prepared to do everything in our possible to keep not only the players and staff healthy, but healthy and safe, but the fans as well. I've also been in contact with another company that's has a product that they've developed that if we can get a hold of it, something that would they could spray on things and kills COVID immediately, but that's a whole different topic that's been introduced to us in the last couple of weeks. So we're doing everything we can to make sure everybody that loves arena football and wants to watch arena football live and in person is going to be safe and healthy.
Chris, this is Pete Doherty again. Where do you stand as far as number of teams? Right now you're at 10. Do you hope to still get more of an Eastern presence, and is there a chance that number could expand before the 2021 season?
So I didn't quite hear clearly. It sounded like, where do we stand as far as number of teams currently in the NAL, if that's correct. With that part of the question, Albany makes number 10. You know, if we're going to take any positive away from the terrible pandemic that's out there happening, is it's actually allowed us to get a little bit more time for expansion. Typically, we're done with expansion by the end of July, and we're able to continue working a little bit. So right now we have 10 solid teams for 2021. I will say that there's always a possibility for adding more. There's a few teams that we've been negotiating with, a few cities, I should say. So I would anticipate 10 to 12 teams for 2021.
Hey guys, Jesse McWilliam here with Spectrum News. This is really for anyone on the owner side of things. When does the process begin for looking at a coaching staff and the makeup of a roster?
Well, the question was, when does the process begin for looking at coaching staffs? I know I can speak for Ron and Nate, that process began a couple of weeks ago. But I'll let you guys want to comment any on coaching staffs. I know they probably don't want to mention any names just as of yet, because I don't think anything's been signed. At least they didn't send the contracts into the league office yet. So
Yeah, we've interviewed a couple of for coaches positions. We have not contracted a coach yet. Does that answer your question?
I think ideally the goal would be to get that head coach in place probably in the next few weeks, get him dialed in and start to work along with the front office staff for the Albany Arena team.
Stan Hootie with the Schenectady Gazette. As we talked about the COVID times as an owner, was this the right time to invest dollars as you see other leagues fail, the old Arena League, run into issues? Was this a buyer's market for you as ownership to return to Albany? And again, what was the attraction to Albany financially to bring this team here?
The question was this a buyer's market? What was the attraction to your timing right now for adding Albany?
I would have to say Albany's always had a really strong fan base up there. The market is super. The fan base was always super up there. Like I said earlier, I'm originally from upstate New York. That is one passion, to be able to bring the NAL to the Albany fans. So I'm not necessarily a buyer's market. I wouldn't put it that way, but it was an opportunity for us with the AFL folding, for us to be able to come in there and put a footprint in Albany and make it a good, solid footprint for the NAL.
Guys, this is Liana Bonavita from News 10 ABC. To piggyback on the excitement that Albany has for arena football, we saw with the Firebirds and the Empire large crowds at the Times Union Center, but with the Conquest, not so much. So what kind of product will we see on the field, and do you anticipate that those large crowds will return?
I'll take that. Great question. I fully expect the fans in Albany, New York to see the same quality product that they saw with the Empire in their last year. Matter of fact, many of their players played in the National Arena League prior. So it's the same brand of football, same rules as far as offense and defense are concerned. I'm an arena lifer, and it was a little bit sad for me to see the Arena Football League, that I've always been passionate about. However, being involved in the National Arena Reception, it gives us an opportunity to continue of arena football. These gentlemen all of them take risk in owning sports from the league level. But you're going to see the same quality of players, same quality of coaching, and the same game when it comes back in 2021. The thing about the Albany team and the history of it with the Firebirds and old school teams like the Orlando Predators and Carolina Cobras, the owners in our league are passionate about arena football, and they're excited about bringing back some old school names and just that vibe that everybody loved and fell in love with in the late 80s, early 90s. You know, my first experience was 1992 down here in Orlando, and I just fell in love with the game. And, you know, the goal here long term is with the league is stability. And doesn't matter if we grow by 5 teams or 10 teams, 2 teams, we need great, stable partners, and we have that in Ron and Nate. And the city of Albany, New York deserves to have arena football for, you know, for 20, 30, 40 years down the road. And that's the goal. We want this game to be here forever. And Albany's a huge piece of that, especially as we develop our northern division or our northern section of our league.
Ashley Miller again. This is for, I guess, the ownership group. There are a couple of really good football players from last year's Empire team still sticking around Albany. Will it be, I guess, will there be a concerted effort to bring back or try to bring back some familiar names from the team that played here a couple of years ago for fans to see?
Yes, we will reach out to those players once we're in the contract.
That was a nice short answer. You know, there's a lot of great athletes up there that played for the Albany Empire last year in the AFL, and of course they're going to be reaching out to them. And you know, we obviously want all the players to continue playing and, you know, continue pursuing their careers. So
Let's face it, they won a championship last year. We want to keep the same guys if possible to bring us a championship, bring the first year we're back here in Albany. So that is our main goal.
you know, it's going to be it's interesting. We have 3 defending champions in our league. The Jacksonville Sharks, who are the NAL champions, the West Virginia Rough Riders that were the champions from the AAL, and of course the Albany Empire. So it's interesting when you have an expansion team like Albany, but everybody's going to be out to get them. So they need to load up and put a good product on the field, because they've got 9 other teams chomping at the bit to take them down. So it'll be fun. As commissioner, I get to enjoy all those exciting games without the stress of coaching them and stuff. So we're super excited about Albany. And, you know, I know that a number of great players have already reached out, expressed some interest. We don't want to really name names until they sign on the dotted line, but, you know, they're not talking a lot about it, but they're reaching out to a lot of them.
Any other questions? Well, there's no bigger fan than Albany County Executive Dan McCoy, and Dan and I will be available for one-on-ones at the conclusion of this. And I want to thank everybody for coming. Again, it's an exciting day. Ron and Nate and Chris and everybody in Orlando, I really appreciate everything that you're doing. We hope to have our team back, hopefully as many players as possible. Great if the coach was there too, but I know you got to negotiate. So thanks for bringing it in, and thanks for hosting this event today.
Thank you, everybody involved.
You guys.